Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Dani Mantilla y estamos aquí en Kinótico, un espacio que es posible gracias al apoyo de ICEX España, Exportación e Inversiones, y que está financiado por la Unión Europea Next Generation, Plan de Recuperación, Gobierno de España. En este set estamos entrevistando a talento nacional e internacional en colaboración con Fred Film Radio, y no puede ser mucho mejor que los dos nombres que tenemos aquí con nosotros hoy, como son Marianne Jean-Baptiste y Mike Leigh, ganador de la Palma de Oro del León de Oro, de Venecia, y que hoy está en San Sebastián con Hard Truths, mi única familia. Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Is your first time here in San Sebastián?
No, I was here in 2002 with my film All or Nothing.
And what about you, Marianne?
This is my first time in San Sebastián.
Are you enjoying it so far?
So far, so good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
How has been reuniting after 28 years, I think, after Secrets and Lies?
Amazing. It's been great. You know, we've kept in touch, over the years, but to actually get to work with each other again has been a beautiful experience.
It has.
I'd
It's great.
say.
It's good. We are on the same page. We're on the same wavelength.
And why was the right opportunity to bring back Marianne
Well,
this time?
it's apart from anything else, it was overdue. I mean, we tried. We were talking about it earlier on, couple of years ago, but the pandemic put paid to that. It just felt about time, really. It's as simple as that.
What did you feel when you read the screenplay? Because I think we have seen similar. Yep.
There is no screenplay.
There's no screenplay.
No.
I think that's quite known about my films. There is no screenplay. The actors are gathered together and we spend months developing the characters and the relationships, and we arrive at the film and we build the film as we go along shooting it. So the film is arrived at, and the screenplay, which is very precise, is arrived at through rehearsal in the location, and is developed as we go along. So the question that you're asking, Marianne, has no meaning.
Doesn't mean anything.
No.
Because it's a really amazing character. I think we have seen glimpses of this woman before, but they were never explained. They were always stereotypes, and then we see it all. It made me think of my mother, because sometimes she complains about living with pain, with physical pain, and it's something that drains you a lot, and it's very difficult to explain to someone. How was portraying this in a film?
It was very rewarding. I mean, it was, as Mike explained, we developed these characters over months, and so she was a very, very equipped sort of character, to play with all the things, with the aches, the pains, the disappointments, the yearnings, all that good stuff that made Pansy.
It's amazing the range the film has, how it goes from really funny moments to really dark, really profound. Did you know since the start that you wanted to do something tragic but also something comic?
I don't think about that. All my films, and you're familiar with them, you could describe it the same way. I mean, for me, that is what life is. It is both comic and tragic. It comes out of the seam like that. That's, you dig life up, and it is comic and tragic. So I don't think about, I'm going to make a film. I don't even think about it. It is what it is, what life is.
I feel that Mike really is one of the best writer and director of female stories and female characters, also male, but I am not sure it's talked about enough. Do you agree?
I would agree, but then when we talk about the way in which he works with characters. He develops characters with the actors to produce that sort of sense of reality. That's why the women in his films are fully fledged. They're not one-dimensional.
I mean,
and he loves women.
Yeah.
Most importantly.
That's also true, but, most women, not all of them. But the thing is, people say to me, "Oh, you make films about women." Well, I make films about women and men, but I deliberately. This is a different thing. I'm aware that central female protagonists, there aren't that many of them, or if they are stereotypes. So I've been quite deliberate in making that choice here and there. But as I say, in the end, it's about people, men and women and men.
And it's never a condescending look, because I love how I don't know if the right word is provoked, but I am thinking of happy-go-lucky, secret and lies, hard truths. They are complex women. They don't try to please. They're real women. It's really cool to see that in the film, because sometimes we get the sanitized version, like the ideal mom, the perfect woman, and that really doesn't exist.
Well, I mean, apart from anything else, the great thing about the conditions of making this film, and indeed all of my films, is that nobody interferes. So we don't have executives with preconceptions about stereotypes or about anything interfering. We are left to our own devices to investigate, create what we want to do without any interference from anybody. And so there aren't all those notions of what would or not be acceptable to an audience, or what's been researched or marketed or any of that crap. And in a way, that's part of the answer to your question.
What was more challenging for you, Marianne? The first part of the film that relates maybe more on the comedic or the fun part, or the dramatic with the graveyard?
I think it's all pretty much the same, because it's not as deliberate as it would be if you had a script that was handed to you and you knew what the character's arc was going to be. Because of the way that we work, it is very organic. So there isn't really a sense of, while you're acting, while you're doing it, you don't think, oh, these are the really funny parts and stuff like that. It's all the same.
It's more mixed. Yeah.
I mean, obviously my job is to think about the dramatic arc, the structure of the film. But having said that, it would not be true to say that I've thought the first part is comic and the second part is tragic. I mean, I just don't think in those terms. I mean, it's all going on all the time because it is real.
It's been 6 years since Peterloo. Did you miss the directing, being on set?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, partly it took so long to get the money because it's hard, especially when you don't have a script and you can't say what it's about.
Yeah.
That's really tough, and it's got tougher than it used to be. But also the pandemic got in the way as well, So yeah.
I remember talking here last year with Todd Haynes, and he said that it's still complicated for him to find money to tell the stories he wants to make.
Well, if it's hard for Todd Haynes, it's going to be very hard for the rest of us, really.
You said in Toronto that Marianne should have won the Oscar for Secret and Lies. Marianne, are you ready to be back in the conversation, in the race?
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's all very exciting. At the moment, it's about this film and getting people to actually go to the cinema and watch it. That's the first part. And if anything else comes after that, then that's wonderful.
The reviews have been great for both the film and your work.
Yeah,
have been really, really good. And one last question, our friends from filming would like to know, who are you thankful for in your relationship with cinema? Who has impacted you? Maybe a filmmaker, a writer, an actor, an actress? Who made you love cinema?
I worked with the director many, many, many years ago and said to him that I'd actually like to direct one day.
Oh, cool.
Or it's something that interested me. And the following day when I went into rehearsals, he gave me a huge bag of VHS films and said, watch all these. And it was him.
That's really cool.
I mean, it's a very hard question. Look, here's the thing. I grew up in the north of Manchester. And until I was 17, I went to the movies all the time, as much as I could, locally. I only saw British and Hollywood movies, English language. I never saw a film that wasn't in English. I went to London to be a student. Wham! I discovered world cinema. Everything, you name it. The Russian cinema, the Nouvelle Vague, the Italian neo-realist cinema, the cinema of Satyajit Ray, the Bengali filmmaker, the Japanese, Ozu in particular, Bergman, you name it. I was very young, impressionable. I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker. All of those experiences were a fantastic inspiration, as indeed are quite a lot of American films. You know, I mean, I could still watch Some Like It Hot over and over again.
I do it as well.
Right mood, you know. So you know, but it's about taking that camera and looking at life, really.
Thank you very much. I think you have to do a lot of press. We do as well here in Kinótico. Congrats for the movie. I think it's really amazing.
Thank you.
And good luck with the rest of the season of the year and with the release. Esto es Kinótico, la primera con K y la segunda con C. Que sepáis que podéis ver próximamente en los cines españoles Mi Única Familia, Hard Truths. Gracias.